Viewers, over the last few days, Times Now has been exposing details about what is now being popularly referred to as the rupees 45 crore perk that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal gave himself. Viewers, this is ostentatious of the kind that the Aam Admi Party has historically said no to. It is a political party that has prided itself as having been founded on a culture where it is connected to the grassroots, where its own aspirations are completely tied in with those of the Aam Admi. Viewers, it tells us that not only does this party eschew the trappings of power, but it also is absolutely incorruptible, because it says that corruption is the greatest cancer in society. It bleeds the Aam Admi. And as a party that has sworn to represent and defend the interests of the Aam Admi, it will never fall sway to either of these two vices. What are these vices, viewers? As I told you, elitism, VVIPism, and of course, on the other side, the temptations of graft. In fact, viewers, as you know, this particular party was founded on the back of a movement, the India Against Corruption movement, that was led by Anna Hazare, who was ably supported by the current chief, the supremo of the Aam Admi Party, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and those that he has remained associated with over the last 15 years. Now, viewers, all these claims are being tested, subject to scrutiny increasingly, on the back of Times Now's expose. The expose, as you know, focused on three different aspects. Number one, Arvind Kejriwal's decision, as you can see on the graphic plate there, to grant himself a home, an ostentatious dwelling, fit for kings, swathed in marble, and of course, corseted by expensive curtains. This huge palace, viewers, is an ivory tower. Is an ivory tower that takes the Aam Admi Party away from its initial promise, its core belief. Listen in to what Arvind Kejriwal had said in 2014 when he burst upon the scene, viewers, as a politician who vowed to change the face of politics in India. This is what he said. He said, just as a quick summary, that people have called me, they're messaging me, saying that I must not fall for the trappings of power. Listen to this bite.
कल से जिस घर में मैं शिफ्ट हो रहा हूँ उस घर को लेके काफ़ी कंट्रोवर्सी हो रही है और वैसे तो जिस घर में मैं जा रहा हूँ एक 5 कमरे का घर है, लेकिन कल से मेरे कई चाहने वाले, मेरे दोस्त और मेरे हमारे जो पार्टी के सपोर्टर्स हैं उन लोगों के पास फ़ोन आए, उन लोगों के और जो जनता के भी फ़ोन आए, उनके मैसेजेस आए और उन्हें लगा कि मुझे ऐसे घर में नहीं जाना चाहिए। सो मैं ये दोनों घर छोड़ रहा हूँ और मैं सरकार को बोलूँगा कि वो मेरे लिए कोई और इससे भी छोटे घर ढूंढने की कोशिश करे। तब तक मैं गाजियाबाद से काम करूँगा। हमें तो वो कहते हैं ना सीजर्स वाइफ, तो वही वाली बात है, हमें तो उसके लिए तैयार रहना पड़ेगा। वी हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट स्क्रूटिनी।
We will have to be prepared for that scrutiny. Now, obviously, viewers, on the back of our expose, the second part of which told you that perhaps even some norms were bent, which brings in the question of probity and propriety. And then the third expose, which suggests that it wasn't just limited. This redevelopment is not just limited, viewers, to building a home. It is a massive chief ministerial complex along the lines of the prime ministerial complex on 7 LKM. Now, viewers, obviously, the Bharatiya Janata Party has come out and said that Kejriwal harbors the delusions of grandeur. That he now thinks that status, not seva, is everything. Of course, viewers, there are also corruption cases that have been slapped against some of his top ministers. So much so, viewers, that the courts have commented in observations written, recorded, that one of those ministers is a kingpin of the Liquorgate scandal. I don't even need to spell out, viewers, the name of that minister. He is right now in jail, repeatedly being denied bail in these cases. So, viewers, corruption and, of course, the most important, VVIP culture, both now seem to hold a special attraction, it would appear, viewers, from what the detractors of Mr. Kejriwal say, for the Aam Admi Party. And therefore, the question needs to be asked. And today we're going to keep it very straight. It's going to be an AAP versus BJP straight-off fight. Has AAP's very DNA altered? And I want to first begin with Dr. Akash Deep Muni, who is an AAP sympathizer, speaks up for them quite aggressively, and Shahzad Poonawala, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. As you know, the Aam Admi Party hasn't sent any of its top faces to any of these conversations, viewers, on either Times Now and any other channel. This story has gone viral, absolutely, our expose. Because everyone sees the merit. Even, viewers, the comatose, selective, biased Lutyens media sees the merit in this investigation. And they are also following it. But the AAP hasn't sent its representatives, senior representatives, who need to really answer some big questions to any of these studios. So let's begin with Dr. Akash Deep Muni, having put out that caveat. Dr. Muni, it's a very simple question. Are you today in danger of losing your core, your soul? Is that what's happening to the AAP?
No, of course, Rahul, there are some important questions raised by you, and of course, the question should be answered. But of course, the question of 45 crore should be answered. But then the questions of 90 crore which is spent on the renovation of Prime Minister home should be answered as well. The 10 crore spent on 1 hour event, the 15 crore spent on LG's house renovation, the 56 crore spent in Karnataka of Prime Minister event, that also should answer. And of course, one important question that should be answered is what is happening in Jantar Mantar, where which is very near to where my dear friend and colleague Shahzad Poonawala is sitting. That there are from 3 months, there are some sports persons are requesting to register an FIR. Finally, after 3 months, the Delhi police, after being reprimanded by the Supreme Court, has agreed that they will be registering an FIR. So, of course, you count the toilets in Kejriwal's home. Definitely, you have the right. But you also have the right to stand for the people who have been allegedly harassed by your minister, BJP minister in Uttar Pradesh, and the sports who have won medals, sports legends who have won medals, are requesting to lodge an FIR. रोज request करते हैं कि ना FIR lodge कर दो. लखनऊ में request किया, then जंतर मंतर में request कर रहे हैं. भाई अब तो FIR lodge कर दो, शहजाद जी.
But Dr. Muni, you yourself are saying these questions should be answered. You're here to answer some of those questions. I'm sure if you could take the time out to come up with such a laundry list of alleged violations by the Bharatiya Janata Party, I'm sure you've taken some time out to prepare for this debate. So I'm asking you once again, first of all, as a supporter of the Aam Admi Party, do you feel today extremely disillusioned by the direction in which the Aam Admi Party movement is moving? It's a very simple question.
See, let me tell you one thing. In this particular house, the case of the particular house, there has been, this house was made in 1980, specifically 40 years ago. And this house there has been some reconstruction done in this house. some details what you are furnishing, that why so much ostentatious vanity. But the point here is that if there would be vanity, if Prime Minister would not have done it, only the Chief Minister would have done. If it would have been done by specifically, by Kejriwal. The one important detail which I would point out that between 2015 to 19, 193 crores were spent on the houses renovation of the Member of Parliament. This was asked in the floor of the Parliament to the Union Housing Minister that time, Hardeep Puri ji.
One second. Dr. Muni, I'm not even asking you. No 1 second. You're struggling tonight.
If Hardeep Puri...
Dr. Muni, 1 second, please. You seem to be struggling tonight. Your heart wants you to take a hard position because it's feeling betrayed. But your mind, which is more invested in self-preservation, says, यार अगर मैं कुछ ज़्यादा ही अपनी पार्टी के बारे में बोल दूं, so I will be out of favor. So I'm only asking you, Dr. Muni. 1 second. There is a conflict here. Now, I'm asking you a very simple question, sir. As an Indian citizen who pays his taxes, an honest Indian citizen who pays his taxes, and I'm sure you do, sir, doesn't it dishearten you? Let's talk about the Delhi Chief Minister who came with the promise of changing politics. And let me just play out that soundbite again. This is not me speaking. This is Mr. Kejriwal representing the people's wish. He said, मेरे को बहुत call आए और मैं उनकी बात सुनूंगा. So let's play it out again. Listen to him carefully. And then tell me, is this the same Kejriwal or not that you support, that you know, that you swear by? So let me play this. Let's play it once again.
कल से जिस घर में मैं शिफ्ट हो रहा हूँ उस घर को लेके काफ़ी कंट्रोवर्सी हो रही है और वैसे तो जिस घर में मैं जा रहा हूँ एक 5 कमरे का घर है, लेकिन कल से मेरे कई चाहने वाले, मेरे दोस्त और हमारे जो पार्टी के सपोर्टर्स हैं उन लोगों के मेरे पास फ़ोन आए, उन लोगों के और जो जनता के भी फ़ोन आए, उनके मैसेजेस आए और उन्हें लगा कि मुझे ऐसे घर में नहीं जाना चाहिए। सो मैं ये दोनों घर छोड़ रहा हूँ और मैं सरकार को बोलूँगा कि वो मेरे लिए कोई और इससे भी छोटे घर ढूंढने की कोशिश करे, तब तक मैं गाजियाबाद से काम करूँगा। हमें तो वो कहते हैं ना सीजर्स वाइफ, तो वही वाली बात है, हमें तो उसके लिए तैयार रहना पड़ेगा। वी हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट स्क्रूटिनी।
So Caesar's wife, to chaliye, forget that. I mean, I don't know if you have heard of a lady called Imelda Marcos. She was given to ostentatiousness. Marcos की wife क्या कहेगी? ये भी तो आप सोचिए। मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ, Dr. Muni. Is this the same Kejriwal who said that I will never step into a big house? Do you today feel disappointed? Do you feel today you made a mistake? Simple question.
See, I neither feel disappointed, neither I feel, I made a mistake. But one thing is that when, of course, the details of the expenditure, of course, Mr. Kejriwal should come out and speak over the details of the expenditure, not the expenditure, not the details of the expenditure, the 45 crores.
Okay.
But of course, he has all the rights to, renovate, reconstruct his home.
He has all the rights.
Home fell down.
He has a right to live in a mahal. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. Let me bring in Shehzad Poonawalla. Look how we have moved, even their supporters today. Just this is for the viewers. I'm not addressing this question to Shehzad Poonawalla. I'm just saying, viewers, it's a comment. Even their supporters today are ready to condone. This was a party where supporters left because they had said a few years back, Mr. Yogendra Yadav, Prashant Bhushan, who claim that they have a greater consciousness to subscribe to, and I'm sure they do, they found it difficult, viewers. Ashutosh was one of them, a senior journalist, several people, they all left. They said, we can't be part of this. We've lost our core. But here we have supporters who have also now re-evolved. Their DNA is also changed. It's remarkable. Let me ask you, Shehzad Poonawalla, you heard Dr. Muni, and he kept coming back to one specific point. Inki vanity jag gayi. BJP ki vanity jag gayi because aapki vanity jag gayi. Because of that, आपकी vanity जग गई. So you're to blame.
You see,
BJP's culture.
This is less about competitive vanity. It is more about having some sanity. And I think finally Caesar's wife should be absolved, and we must talk about Kejriwal's political life and his political conversion in the last few years. Because look, they started off by saying that we will never ever have a big bungalow, we will live like a common man. Today you have a situation where he has done such a U-turn, and now first they started with ideological corruption, they went with Congress and Lalu, then they did fiscal corruption, Sharab Ghotala, Hawala Ghotala. Now is the case of the worst form of corruption, which is moral corruption. Rahul, on an affidavit they had signed and given that I will not take a big house, and today when they take a house, look at the explanations and arguments they are doing. They are saying because the roof is falling, I need to install Dior marble, and Times Now has shown that when it was Makrana marble that was approved, they said no, Makrana marble may be fit for Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal in Taj Mahal, but Kejriwal ka Mahal, Sultan Kejriwal will only have Dior white marble, otherwise no less. Then superior quality work, 11 crores spent on interiors, 1 crore spent on curtains, and therefore this is an obscene amount that is being spent. We are not saying a chief minister who goes into a new house cannot renovate, but the obscenity of this. Now look, there are 2 or 3 things that have come out clearly. One, nobody is denying that this kind of obscene amount has been spent, including Sanjay Singh or Mr. Muni. 2, what is Mr. Muni saying? That it is a house which was built in 1980. But Mr. Sanjay Singh has said that this house was 1942, it was 80-year-old house. So they have to confirm what kind of lie they want to propel. 3, this is not a reconstruction, it is a mere renovation or an alteration, because even in the tender documents it's been said, but Mr. Sanjay Singh and Raghav Chadda came and said that it was a reconstruction which cannot take place and which has not happened. So that is a lie that they are using. And 4, today, Rahul, the moot point is that was there corruption even in this moral corruption? Because 10 crore is the limit of the GFR, above which you have to have an integrity contract, etc., and it has to go through a route of officers. To avoid that, the amount was kept at 9 crore 99 lakhs. You have a situation where things have been inflated when their price is seen. Nowhere such prices have been seen for toilet cover seats costing 4 lakh rupees, etc. So clearly this could be a case of CWG style
but he asked
corruption.
a very specific question. He says, be that as it may, questions need to be answered. You are raising perhaps the appropriate questions. Times Now has also raised these questions. He says, look, the problem is really not about the amount, because the Prime Minister spent a more amount of money than Mr. Kejriwal. These things have to be done. Now, whether the building was made in 80 or 82 or 84 or whatever, there's many contradictions from the AAP about that also. That's immaterial. But if the Prime Minister can, then, and Parliament has approved expenditure for renovation, etc., etc., why are you singling out Mr. Kejriwal?
Now, thank you for bringing that up. He said that Parliament, in a written reply, it has been said 193 crore was spent on the upkeep of MP's house, right? Renovation. It was for 400 MPs. So if you divide it, it comes up to 50-60 lakh. MP. 1 second, Mr. Muni, don't interrupt. Mr. Muni, do not interrupt. Let's not introduce this weekend debate also to this.
Sir, Dr. You can please ask. I will give you the time to ask follow-up question. Pehle unki baat sun lijiye. Make a point on a pad and you can rip him. I don't care. Yes.
So 193 crores being spent on 400 MPs houses. If you divide it, it comes to 50-60 lakhs or less than 1 crore per MP's house. Point number 1. Point number 2, as far as the Prime Minister is concerned, the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of a country who has more than 50 ministries under him, and the Prime Minister has to look at the entire country, and we know that this is the Prime Minister of a country which is a nuclear power country, and therefore there are many other security arrangements and other arrangements which I don't want to discuss on national television, including how there are situations of protecting the protectee from nuclear attacks, etc., which need to go in and which need to be factored in. Mr. Kejriwal does not even have the Delhi police under him, but yet he wants to have a mansion where he wants to take over street by displacing 8 officers from their flats and 2 officers from their bungalow. So if the Chief Minister of Delhi, who does not have Delhi police under him, is comparing his requirements to run a secretariat with the Prime Minister of a country of 140 crore people, I think this is megalomania multiplied by 25. Okay. But having said that, I just have one question to ask. Forget what the Prime Minister may or may not have done. I want to ask Mr. Muni that, Mr. Muni, can you please tell me, curtains worth 8 lakh rupees a piece, is that Aam or is that superior quality?
Okay.
That's all I want to ask.
Okay, so one
toilet seat of 4 lakh rupees.
I want you viewers to... 1 second, Dr. Muni, there's another question. Remember, I began... Fine. The cost is ostentatious. You know this. You've also admitted. But You say, let's go into the details of the cost. Now, remember, viewers, that the tender document, it said renovation.
Yeah.
But two senior members of the first day this story was broken by Times Now and Times Now Navbharat, our sister channel. They came out and said that, no, we had to demolish the structure. So there was not just a renovation, viewers. This is what they said. First, listen to what they said. The tender document said renovation. These people admit to demolition. There's a big difference. So now there is an issue of propriety also. Just play out those sound bites.
मुख्यमंत्री के घर में 3 घटना हुई। 80 साल उनका पुराना घर था। पीडब्ल्यूडी विभाग ने उसको तोड़ के बनाया। 30 करोड़ की लागत में वो घर बना।
जिस घर की आज आप बात कर रहे हैं, जिस पर इतना बवाल बनाने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है विपक्ष के द्वारा भी, मैं उस पर आपको बता दूं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी इस घर में जब रहते थे, वो घर 1942 का बना हुआ था। लगभग 75 साल से भी ज्यादा पुराना, 80 साल पुराना मकान था। इस मकान को तोड़ के नया बनाया जाए, तब दिल्ली सरकार के पीडब्ल्यूडी ने तोड़ के मकान को नया बनाया।
Dr. Muni, there's a problem here. Tod, demolition. You, in your tender documents, which are a public-facing document, have said renovations. Isn't this an issue of propriety now?
Of course, there are two issues here. First of all, at that point in time, the Lieutenant Governor was Arvind Kejriwal, who was responsible for the finances of Delhi as per the GNCT rules. I hope that you would have taken the bite of Arvind Kejriwal on this case.
Okay, so now viewers, remember, this particular matter would not have even gone up
to it.
because the costs were kept under a certain threshold. So there is that also. So there are many. So these dodges that we are seeing are not working. But very quickly, I want to ask you, you are in charge of Delhi also through the LG. The center is, that is, at least half of it. When are we going to see action from the center now? A line has been crossed by the CM.
Rahul, what has been done is a moral crime, and after the moral crime, now there are elements of a corruption and criminal aspect also that is coming in because of the manner in which the GFR was violated, and therefore this allows us the door or opportunity to ask the officers of the Delhi government to give sufficient answer. If they don't, then we will have to take it to the court.
Them?
No, we are asking them. We need a clear-cut explanation from the PWD minister, from the engineers and the other people who've sanctioned this. And if those don't come, then we will have no option but to go to court or else petition an investigating agency to take this.
Well, this matter is not going away. Okay, FIR, he says, fine.
Yes,
we'll
if the PWD minister does not answer the questions, then the FIR will be filed by the investigating agency.
Now, the
you don't cry
minister,
then you don't cry.
Okay, gentlemen, I'll leave it at this. This debate is going to have to end because otherwise we'll descend into, once again, as you know, invective. But the basic point is, viewers, that the test case of this now lies in who is going to go that extra mile to come clean. Will AAP do so? Who from AAP will do so? And if they don't, will the government also, in the interests, the central government, in the interests of transparency, order an investigation? This is the fundamental point. I leave it at this, viewers.